Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And it is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. It feels like a really long week. It's Wednesday, August the 12th, and we are nearing halfway through the month, and we are definitely halfway through the week, blessedly so. It's been really hot here, and every day is sluggish. That's how I feel about it. All right. We are continuing with our journey into the Hidden Realms Tarot, which is another Barbara Moore deck, and it is beautifully illustrated by Julia Jeffrey. This deck was graciously lent to me by my friend Topaz, and so throughout the month we will be checking out the beautiful cards in this deck, as well as kind of talking a little bit about how this deck may not be something for beginners. So, without further ado, let's see what beautiful card we have today. All right. Okay, this is gorgeous. So, we have the Seven of Cups, and this card it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the color in this one. It's it's blue-green. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but it's kind of a blue-green color. There's these beautiful stars, or maybe they're sprites. Again, being that we are talking about the hidden realms and the fae and all that kind of stuff, maybe these are meant to be kind of wood sprites of some kind, and he is sitting among them. He kind of looks like he might be a fairy too. I can't tell where the plants behind him start, and maybe like wings or something might begin. But he looks very contemplative. He kind of looks like he is almost in like a sweat lodge. I don't know if anybody has ever done like a sweat lodge thing, but you sit inside this kind of cave-ish kind of thing, a hole in the ground kind of. Some people manufacture them. Some people just find a cave and turn them into sweat lodge kind of thing. But it really looks like he's kind of sitting in this sweat lodge, kind of letting his mind wander. And these little sprites are kind of floating around him and maybe like messing with his head a little bit. And I think it very much alludes to the usual symbolism of the Seven of Cups. So we know that cups usually equate to emotion, intuition, passions in that kind of way, the ebb and flow of things. Cups are water, so typically they're going to be very, there's going to be a lot of movement in them. The sevens are usually kind of a point where you're sort of jumping off a cliff, and it's that free fall, or it's that time to just kind of chill out and assess things. But I like thinking of it as free fall because sevens don't give you a lot of control. Sevens are kind of that space right before you hit the ground with an 8, and you're like, okay, well, I've either got to pick up the pieces or I've found a new level of things. So you're either like jumping from one cliff to the next, and sevens are that space in between where you don't know if you're going to make it, but you've come so far, it's okay. It's like, all right, I'm just going to enjoy this moment of free fall, this moment of flight. You can't do anything about it. You can't go back now. You can only go forward and fall. So with Seven of Cups, though, this card is very much a card of fantasy. It's a card of dreams and daydreaming and kind of losing yourself in those moments of self-discovery, as well as the whimsy of hope and dreams, and that it's very Midsummer Night's Dream sort of weirdness too with this card. Typically there will be an array of cups along the wall with all these beautiful magical things like dragons and serpents and gold and treasure and all of these kinds of things sort of burbling out from the cups, in the sense of these kind of maybe sprites that are floating around him. Maybe it's in the way of like whispering his wishes. He's talking to them. They're saying, oh, well, wouldn't you like this? And what about this? And don't you want to be handsome? And don't you want to be loved? And don't you want to be wealthy? And don't you want to have all the power? And all of these kinds of things that whisper to us from the Fae who want to lure us in and keep us in the fairy realm. So I look at this card and I do think this is probably the most Fae of all Fae cards, in the sense that they've captured his attention. Now, will they be able to lure him away with dreams and offerings and treasures and things like that that are magical and cannot be found in the mundane world? So it's a will he, won't he sort of card. And very typically this card is a will they, won't they sort of stance on things, where the person looking at the cups on the wall, or in this case kind of being enchanted by the tempting fairies, they haven't done anything yet. They're still thinking about it. They can only make one choice, or maybe they can only have 3 wishes. It's that sort of situation where you're just sort of, well, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. It also reminds me kind of that moment right before in Labyrinth where Sarah falls down the oubliette and the hands are holding her, and it's right there in that moment when they're asking her up or down, and she hasn't answered yet. Because one choice or the other, is there really a good choice? Is there really a bad choice? So in that moment when they ask up or down, that's this card. That's that moment in this card. The message of this card is to allow yourself to get a little lost in daydreams, get a little lost in the fantasies, but be prepared to leave that and go back to the real world with what you've discovered there. It's not about staying there forever. As fun as it is to wonder, oh, what if I won the lottery? What if I had $1 million? What if the man of my dreams or woman of my dreams came along? What if I had, a yacht and I could just sail all over the place and go wherever I want? All of these things are great to fantasize about. They motivate us to do well at work so that we have the money. They motivate us to take care of ourselves so that we are ready when someone who will love us comes along and we can love ourselves and them at the same time, kind of thing. It motivates us to do those things, but it's not a place to stay. So we don't stay in the fairy realm. We don't say yes to these fluttering little sprites that are around his head, but we do take the time to enjoy and fantasize and daydream a little, because daydreams are where magic really is. Daydream is really where genius lies. The muses love daydreams. Daydreams are what get us going, and we stand up and we're like, I've just had an epiphany. I know exactly what I need to do. So before you land on the other side, enjoy this moment to fantasize while you're free falling. But then when you get there, land with both feet on the ground and keep running. Keep going. Don't stop. So I hope you enjoyed that little interlude into the journey into the hidden realms. And I really think that this is actually a really excellent example of the Seven of Cups if you know enough about the fairy and what they mean when they're kind of hovering around somebody, that they're trying to lure them in. I think that this card can actually be read for its symbolism. It's still not a beginner deck. I'm still not sold as it's a beginner deck, but it's a beautiful deck, and I do enjoy it. If you want to see any more of the discussion on this deck or the other decks that we have done, check out the link of the playlist that leads you back to the tarot reading stuff, and I do have like short little videos of each one of the cards that we've played with this month and in past months. As well, check out the link in the description below for my website, where you can make an appointment for readings, which I'll probably be doing with this deck and pretty much any deck that I have throughout the month. And if you're interested in joining us for Tarot Cafe, more information on that as well. We usually meet on Mondays for that. And yes, it is all online still, because yes, there is still a pandemic happening. Even though here in my little fairy realm, everything is hunky-dory, there's still some crazy stuff going on in the world. So until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, please stay cool, because oh my goodness, it's hot out. It's August, dog days, here we are. All right, have a wonderful Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!